Guys, I've gone ahead to cut out my fabric using this pattern I created in my previous video. So if you do not know how to create a basic bodice pattern, I have a video on this channel. I'll be linking it in the description box. So I have 2 inches on the neckline because I have already cut out 1 inch. So on this pattern, I have 1 inch allowance plus my bust measurement divided by 4. Then I also went ahead to add 1.5 inch on the bust and the waist, the under bust part, because this dress will not have a zip. It's very important to add that extra allowance. So I cut out these pieces with lining. As you can see, there are 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces for the back. So I'll be making an adjustment to the front neckline. Since this dress does not have a zip, it's very important that I create a neckline that can accommodate, that can help me get into the dress easily. So I just placed my dumbbells to hold this fabric because it's really slippery. The fabric is really light, so I just placed that on the fabric and I'm going to go ahead and mark. So since I've already cut out 1 inch from this fabric, I would take that out. I'll take that into consideration before I mark my neckline. So I'm just going to use 7 inches as my neck point, as my neckline. Take note of the fact that when I sew the lining, I will still be using another 1/2 inch. So this would mean that my neckline is 7.5 inches. So I'll take out my pattern paper so that I can cut my new neckline. So I'll just go ahead, place this fabric properly before I create a sharp V neckline, as you can see me doing. If you want a cycle, if you want a round neck, you can also do that. So as you can see now, my neckline is a V shape. Like my neckline is now having a V shape. Both the lining piece and the main fabric is having a V neckline, and then for the back it still remains 1 inch. So I'll put that aside and move over to the lower part of this dress. So guys, to cut out this lower part, you really need to pay attention. It's the same thing with the other dress I made in my previous video. So take note. Someone asked me how to cut the lower part of the other dress. So I'll be explaining that, how to do that here, because it's also a pleated dress. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to trace, create like an illustration to show you what this dress would look like. So please bear with me and manage my drawing, even though it's not perfect. So I've gone ahead to trace out the upper parts, and right now I'm just trying to draw out the first tier. We'll be having 3 of this on this dress. So this is the second one, and then we have the last one like this. So since we've cut out the upper part of this dress, that's the shoulder to waist, our focus right now is going to be on the tiers. That's the lower part of this dress. So I'm just going ahead to label the shoulder to waist points. That is this point here. That's the shoulder to waist point. That's what we cut out earlier. So before cutting out the lower part, you just need to subtract the half cut from the full length of this dress. The full length of this dress, my dress is 34 inches. And my shoulder to waist point is 16 inches. So I need to subtract 16 inches from 34 inches. And whatever I get, I'll work with that and share it equally amongst the 3 layers. So in my own case, 34 minus 16 is 18 inches. So I will be working with 18 inches, which means I'll have 6 inches across the 3 layers. But don't forget that we would be adding the top and the bottom part to the half cut and to the other layers. So this means I'll add 1 inch to the 6 inches, which means when I cut out, I would need to add 1 inch to all the layers. This is the height I am talking about. That's the length, sorry. So now moving on to the width, that's how wide we would need to cut out. So to know how much fabric you need to work with, you would need your waist measurement and then multiply it by 3. So you can decide to multiply by 2 if you want, but I want mine to be really full, and that's why I'm working with multiplying by 3. And don't forget, we added 1.5 inches to our fabric. Though I would advise when you're making yours, you add only 1 inch extra allowance, because I needed to fit mine when I finished making my dress. So add 1 inch all round, which would mean plus 4 inches to your waist measurement. Then you multiply that by 3 to get the width of the first tier. I hope this explanation makes sense, but if you are confused at any point, just make sure you drop a comment and I will reply your comment. So to get the second tier, you're just going to multiply whatever you got or whatever you get on the first tier by 2. So just multiply by 2, and whatever you get there, multiply that answer by 2 again for the last tier. So once again, you don't need to multiply by 3 on the first tier. I multiplied by 3 because I need my dress to have a very full effect. In the other video I created, I multiplied only by 2 on the first tier. So if you have not seen that video, I will be dropping the link in the description box so that you too can watch it. So just go ahead and cut out the fabric 7 inches. It depends on what you want. You can make yours longer. It just depends on what you want. So just use the measurements as earlier measured to cut out the fabric. So you're going to do this for the 3 pieces. So once you're done doing that, the first tier is going to be pleated back to the measurement, the original, does the waist measurement plus the added inches. So that's how it's going to be, so that we can attach it to the upper part of this dress. So just cut out the 3 and do that for all of them. And now moving on to the sewing part, I'll just take the front panel and place the lining front facing front, the front side facing the front, and make a stitch on the neckline. So guys, I decided to use a lining because this fabric is really light. You can decide to use just a bias tape to finish your neckline. So I'll do that for the front and the back piece and turn it over. So once I'm done doing that, I'll place the front panel right side once again facing the right side and join the shoulders together. So I'll place my fabric like this and take the lining piece from the back to the front like this. Just look closely and you understand what I'm doing. So I'll bring the lining from the front piece to the back, then I'll make a stitch. So if this makes sense, I don't really know how to explain this better, but if you need to rewind, slow down the video, you can do that so you understand. So this is what I got. You can see how neat the finish is. Both the inside and the outside is looking neat because of that. So moving on, I also joined the front piece and the back piece together by the inch I left for the sewing allowance. So I joined that together and turned that to the front. And that's all for the upper part of this dress. So moving on to the lower part of the dress, I'm done joining and pleating the lower part of this dress, guys. As you can see, it's looking really nice and bouncy. So this is the effect I wanted. I needed it to be really full and it's giving. So after pleating, I joined the 3 layers together. So what I'm holding here is the 3 layers joined together. If you do not understand any part of this, please make sure you drop a comment. So the next step is to join my pleated lower part to the upper part of the dress. So I closed my pleat, the lower part, at one edge. Yeah, so I closed one part of this pleat before joining it to the upper part of the dress. So this is what it's looking like after joining the both parts together. It's so beautiful and bouncy. The pleat is giving everything it's supposed to give, guys. So what's left on this dress is to measure the armhole area and create sleeves for this dress. So after taking the measurement, my armhole measurement, I'll go ahead and create a lovely sleeve for this dress. Guys, this is what my sleeve is looking like. This sleeve is really beautiful. If you would like a tutorial on the sleeves, make sure you drop a comment. I'll be so glad to create one for you. So if you've watched this video to this point and you're not yet subscribed to this channel, wow, what are you waiting for? Guys, this brings me to the end of this tutorial. As you can see, I measured my dress to confirm if I have the desired length I wanted, and I think I did well. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.